Hey everybody, it's Crypto Steve, and I'm going to do a quick video today to update you on the TownStar event of winning Bitcoin and NFTs. And it's a pretty good contest because really, they're giving away a lot of prizes to people. The one thing that's not great is only the top 10 get some of the BTC, and the top 100 get a rare NFT for their games, and the top 1000 get a common NFT. What I didn't realize is that if you're first place, you get all three. If you're first through 10, if you're 11 through 100, you get a rare and a common. And if you're below that, you'll just get the common NFT. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up my Gala Games account. So just to show you guys, in my inventory, I do have, now this is the one thing also that's a little bit of a bummer. Let me just go to here. So in my treasure chest, I did get my first items because I placed in about, I would think I was 20th, right around there, maybe 23rd, somewhere there. It doesn't really matter if you're in those positions unless you're competing for the top 10. Or if you're competing for, space 100 to 90th. But I got the hook and some track chains, and I've got 400 Gala from referrals. Thank you for those of you who've been coming for my referrals. You should know now, they are currently on Ethereum, so if I wanted to claim all of these items, there would be a gas fee of $5. Because of that, and the current price of Gala, and the unknown value of these, I'm not claiming my rewards yet. I will claim them later. I did watch a stream this week where they were doing a charity stream, and I did a donation. I was the first one to do a bigger donation, and I got this cool item for the game, and it's made a big difference. Just in the last couple days of the game, it's pushed me up to be a top 20 player where I was not there before. So this does show me that this game is a little bit play to win. And I don't always love pay to win games, but normally you can still win prizes just playing for free. But if you're going to want to compete at the top level, they're going to make you invest some money or invest a lot of time to get enough items to make these items. So to go back into here so you understand a little bit of how it works. Let's see if I go to home. They have these items here. These are the TownStar items. And they sell them currently for either Ether or BAT or the Gala token. These are the current prices if you were to buy them here. Now you can buy these items because they are NFTs on the you can buy them on third-party marketplaces, and I'm going to do a video on their value once I understand it more. Because see, that hook I bought, in theory, it's worth 0.1 ETH. So spending $5 to claim it would be a good move if I could get 0.09 ETH or 0.08 ETH for it. I just don't know if the marketplace is really there for it. Then if you go to here, you can see that how many items you need to build this item. And this item will help you out in the game by building your buildings faster. So that's kind of the idea, is you can get these items from their weekly contest, save up Gala and buy them from them, or just buy them on their own. Right now there's these two bots. This BitTrue wheat stand was a special promotion they did with BitTrue. The Express Depot truck is something they gave out to the first people that signed up to be a gold member. You get these fountains, the different levels, by getting referrals. I still need 4 more referrals to move up from an okay fountain to a good fountain. So hopefully a few of you who watch this who maybe want to come check the game out will use my referral link. Note, to get your 100 Gala, you have to play for at least 3 days where you log in and successfully sell an item from your town. If you don't do that for 3 days, then you don't count as having played the game, and neither one of us get credit for you. That's why, while I've had 12 friends join, I've only had 6 friends play. And I understand that this is a game that's a lot like Farmville. It's not necessarily up everybody's, kind of game they want to play, but they are coming out with an MMO game pretty soon. They're doing a land sale for this. If you're into those kind of games, you could come check out the site and look into it a little bit more. There's not a lot released about it except for the fact that how the land is going to work and that there's kings and things like that. So we'll have to see. I'll do more videos on this once they give out more videos, info, once there's some videos on gameplay and things like that. Now, in one of my last videos, somebody asked me, because I had done a cake town and an example of kind of how to do a farm count for cakes, to do a steel town or a blue steel town. So I went ahead and went for a blue steel town this week. So I'll go ahead and bring my town up. The first thing I'm going to talk about a little bit is location setup. So to make steel, you need a mountain and you need a river to be able to grow trees really well. So that's why I chose this tile. Now, I wanted to get one of those tiles up here because then the round trip when you sell your items is quicker, but I'm doing a round trip from here to there. It's still not bad because within this distance, it's still only 1 gas to go, which is really important early on in the game. Not as important later on in the game, but I would have rather been in one of these spots. Let's see, are any of these guys ahead of me? Because if not, these two players sold. Yeah, these two guys stole the spots I wanted, and they didn't even play that well. They're not even ranked that high. So, come on, guys. If you're gonna steal my spot, at least compete with me. I'm up here at 19th. There's a guy over here. This is an interesting spot. He's selling all the way over to here. He's in the top 10. He's at number 4. I have a feeling, and I don't know if any TownStar people see this. This guy could be multi-accounting, and I don't know if that's against the rules. You are able to trade items, so if I had a buddy who would play with me and was willing to take this spot right here, and he was willing to make the wool for me, then I wouldn't need them to make my fabric that's needed to make blue steel. So it's a pretty interesting thing. But these areas are good. I have learned a tip I can give you. If you can find it, this area might be better. And this guy's ranked a little worse than me, but he might not have an item that's helping him like I have in the wheat thing that I didn't have for this whole event. But if he doesn't have that, that could be why I'm a little bit ahead of him. But with this item, I'll explain in a minute why it might be better to have the mountain here and the river here and not have the river run up to the mountain. So this spot would work, except for I have no idea how selling works out of here. I don't know if trucks can go over mountains. I'm assuming they can, because otherwise you'd have spots on the map where like nobody could sell anything. So there must be some way they let you sell from these, and I'll check that out next time I come to play. I'll just like start a couple towns and delete them just to make sure that you can sell out of these locations. But another good one would have been this one right here. This is a great spot. This person's number 14, so they're a little ahead of me. And this one right here, because these are right next to a city, and it has a mountain, and it has a river across from it. And I'll explain why you'd rather have the river across from you now instead of up against you. And so here's my steel town. Now it's going okay. I'm creating blue steel. There's only 2 hours left in the season. I'm gonna go ahead and cut down my wool production and put some more trees over here to try to create 7 more blue steel by speeding this up. In this it's almost 3 hours. I have to get that started here in just a moment, because as you can see, I'm producing too much wool and not enough wood to keep these mines humming. So sometimes these guys are just sitting around waiting for lumber, and that's a bit of a problem. So I'll tell you the basic idea to this is you build your trees over by your river, but mountains cast shade for 5 spots. So see all these trees, they grow slow. So if this river was over here, then my trees could be all over here, and all of my trees would grow fast. This would make my town much more efficient. The other thing that I did that might have been kind of wrong is the way I set up my sheep. I don't know, maybe some people could tell me in the comments if you played this game what you think, but I built a river here and a river here. I built sheep along here. Sheep do need a lot of water. They need 5 to be able to do things. And then I tried to put their food area kind of in the middle of them, and I have them going like this. Now, without the cool bit true stance, so what this is doing for me, I don't have to grow wheat. these are my feed makers, and the stand is putting wheat in them automatically. So they just make food and then my players grab it. So pretty much these food things are always just being refilled. And my workers never have to do anything but refill wheat and then pick up the wool and take it to the wool stand. That's why once I put this item here, all of a sudden my wool production went crazy. And I probably should have earlier on done this. And I'll wait, since this one's about to finish. I'll let this one finish, and I'll let the person come grab the wool out of it. So they're going to grab that. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove this. And then I'm going to put another tree here. And the reason I should have done this for part of this is because for my town, being able to produce the wheat super fast means that I needed more trees to make lumber so that all of my places could keep working at a very high speed. Now, basically, the way I set this town up, these are pretty good examples. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I did here. I did one water with 2 water pumps up, so I could do 2 power plants here. That produces all 3 energy to all 3 of these spaces that these guys need, and then provides 2 energy to the other spaces in between. I put 1 more power plant up here. That provided 3 energy to this guy, 3 energy to this guy, and only 2 energy automatically being provided here. So this guy's having to go grab 1 energy. Then I threw steel mills here and here, and here, and in this spot here, and an extra power plant here. This allowed me to build in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 lumber mills. All the lumber mills are getting their energy and don't need anything else. I threw 1 extra power plant here because this is for my blue steel maker. Now, I'm starting to wonder if this is worth it, because it's pretty easy to make some energy by having a few of these going here. And I do have, see, 28 energy sitting here. So I maybe could not have worried about giving them so much of this 10 energy for free, because it just would have taken him a little bit longer to grab that energy while he was waiting for the steel to be made. Because blue steel is 5 steel, 10 energy, 1 uniform. This side over here, I threw 1 power plant here, and I surrounded it with fabric plants. I ended up with quite a lot of fabric plants. The reason why was because I am creating so much wool that I can actually make uniforms at a pretty efficient rate. There is something to be said for maybe doing a setup like this, where I'd be growing more cotton and have more farmers and have more silos and have more fabric plants, and just not worry about making the steel. I wouldn't want the mountain here in that case, and I could just be pumping out uniforms like crazy. Uniforms do okay when you sell them. I'll show you an example. They're 300,000, but they can be made pretty easily. And this will show you a little bit of a feeling on that turnaround time, which is why I have 2 areas for selling stuff. So on the last few days, I come back about every couple hours and sell a few things. I'm looking at a minute and a half roughly for these trucks to go to that property that's not too far away. So now that you've had kind of a look at the idea of fabric plants on this side, mines and steel mills over here, trees and sheep over here, more trees over here, water producing right here. When I put these rivers here, these little ponds here, to let me make trees here, it let me put these 4 guys here. So I like that setup because the water facilities don't really cause trees to not grow very fast. They don't impact them the way that like these areas do. But I could tell you right away the thing I did wrong. So this should be down here, and this was one of the first rivers, little ponds that I had, and I made the mistake of using it and not just farming up some extra money and being able to create the town perfectly. And one of the reasons I couldn't do that is because it is kind of hard in the beginning of the game to make sure that you don't run out of money and not use some of the ponds that are already given to you. and really remake everything to be how you want it. It can be hard to do that. Forests have a ton of trees you have to remove. It's absolutely crazy. So I realized that I kind of ended up with the layout of this town the way it was because I fell victim to letting the current layout of the tile dictate some of my choices. And I shouldn't have done that because, see, if I would have built this one down here and then this one where this one is, and I know they each would have been a little bit higher, depending on exactly how I did it. And so all of these would be down here where these are, and so everything would run only up to about here. Then this area for trees would be better off, and these trees right here, see, this one grows green because it's far enough away. This one only grows at yellow because it's too close to buildings, and then these ones grow at red speed. I could have had this stuff growing in green. And so I could have had a more of a so the tile could have been better if this stuff would have been shifted down here, and then these storage units and these buildings here would have been up there. And I could have still had like the fuel. I don't really need this right here. As you can see, I have a couple open tiles. That's an open tile. That's an open tile. There's an open one over there. I really got to a point where I couldn't figure out how to make my town more efficient because I really needed more trees, and there wasn't any good way for me to see to get more trees right here, at least not an efficient tree, or a tree right here that was any efficient. So I just kind of left them and I let it go because I came to the realization that having got my bit true thing on day 3 and playing for 2 days, that I was able to push myself up from this area down here in the 30s where I was last time at 700,000 points. And I was able to push myself all the way up here to 19th place currently. This guy might pass me if he comes back to play in the next 2 hours. He might not, because honestly, there's no difference between 19th and 20th and what we win. Or if I somehow pass this guy, I can't get to 2 million. Even if I might get to 1.8, but I'm not going to get to 2 million points this time. So, but I'm top 19. To win BTC, I would have had to do about twice as many points as I have done. I'm going to try next time. I'm going to admit, I'm going to have this item here. I'm going to be able to use it early on to help my windmills make flour immediately. And I think it's going to let me not fall victim to making that mistake of not building my town out to the way it should be and the efficiencies that should be in it. Because realistically, the fabric mills should be probably over here, away from the forest, because they're kind of polluters. I should have all these buildings that are workers up near the forest but not too close so that it all grows fast, and I should be able to manage a way to just have my town be really efficient and work together and things in the right places. Like in theory, I put this here because it's halfway between these and halfway between the mines, and it allows them both to have to run halfway across. But if I was doing this better and these were right down here, then I could just be using this lumber mill. And then everybody would only have to be coming to here to get their lumber. And that's just not happening. And I could have done this all a little bit differently. There's no rule that the refinery needs to be right here. So this could have been, but there's some things you do want your wood producers to be close to your forest, so your guys are picking the trees, dropping off, and then returning and going back and forth and going back and forth and going back and forth. So that's a reality that you just want to see. So we're getting towards 19 minutes. I don't know if anybody will have hung out to see the end, but at least you got to see a little bit of my critique. I made a mistake by not putting these down lower, giving me more room to maybe do some of the forest over here. I think I did a mistake in my setup of my sheep. I feel like I should have kept them more together, maybe surrounded one pond with sheep and then put the food out in front of them and just kind of not had them so spread out. Maybe this isn't terrible. This is not where it's supposed to be because I didn't get it when I first started. So I just kind of plopped it down and then I rebuilt basically it made my town so much more efficient that this road used to go up to here, and so I deleted a bunch of stuff and I put in some more trees to try to make my town a little bit better. But I'm still making way too much wool. That's why I went ahead and deleted one of these towns, and then I'll probably take one of these wool makers and turn them into a cotton maker and see if I can't get through these 21 pieces of wool and turn those into 21 uniforms, because I don't really want to sell any more wool. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to tweak out the town. I'm going to finish it out over the last 2 hours. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who checks out my video. Oh, one little added bonus. There's going to be a new referral link. There's a special thing going on here to where if I could get 10 people to sign up and play the game, I would get this cool little holiday tree thing. It's a special elf bot. Hey, you just want to help out somebody who you watch play videos every once in a while, come and check out the holiday tree. It'd be really helpful. I'll have this in the description. And since this was the very end of the video and I don't know how many people will see it, I'll probably write something in the description about like, hey, if you want to do a little thank you for me, a little help for my content I do create, then I'd appreciate anybody who checks out the elf bot link. So once again, I am Crypto Steve. I put out a lot of videos on Tron projects, on Splinterlands, on Gala Games projects, and any other project that anybody wants me to look at and take a look at, I will do a review. That's why I did this review of Uswap. That is why I did a review of Score Milk. And, they didn't, well, this one got 300 views. My games are pretty niche. So my Splinterlands ones and my TownStar ones, they don't do as well as my Tron projects. So, and I've done a couple of ones on like Celsius and a couple other projects. So I can cover those. I do get pretty in depth on them if you ask me to. And for now, I do it for free a lot of the time, as long as I like the project you refer me to. And I also have a link in my description for anybody that's looking to do sponsored content. I've never done that before, but I would love to get paid for what I do when I make a video. So thanks everybody. Goodbye.